Hello, Amy. How are you?
Hello, I am good. How are you?
Good. Sorry, was that too much enthusiasm?
It was beautiful. I feel
Good.
rained and showered and shined. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's been a while because we didn't do
Yes.
a chat in December for various reasons. But we're
Christmas
back.
and the lurgy got in the way, but here we are.
Yes.
New year, new me. Same me.
Yes.
Still the same
Exactly.
one. Sorry.
Yeah, we haven't changed, but that's good. That's good. So we've got a couple of things to talk through, and if anyone is watching this a few days after or next week, don't worry. Something big is obviously coming up soon
Ooh.
for marketing stuff. So we've
I
got the
think there
wave.
might be I've got a tingly feeling, a tingly
Hmm.
feeling.
So we'll do another video to cover the big stuff. But this will talk through stuff in December. Really cool thing that I saw from you, and we'll cover one of the new features in a little bit more detail.
Yes.
Yeah, exciting. So
Let's
I
do this.
will share my screen with the December release information on it. So I'm going to do that. Can you see my screen? Because
Yummy!
everybody asks like it's the first time they've ever done it. So
It's like,
can you see my
wow,
screen? I
I
know
can
it
see your
works.
screen.
Good, well done.
Whew.
So
Okay.
this, we talked about this before. We brought this up before. This page is the what's new is essentially so the equivalent of the monthly release notes
Yes.
for the stuff that is pushed out for customer insights journeys. So I think we already talked through November, so we've just got December.
Yes, sir.
So let's see what we're excited about. Do you want to take the first one?
Go on then. Um, this one I think is something that was in preview for a while, which is allowing session registrations for events in real-time marketing, obviously. So this is part of the big party of stuff that's missing from real-time events. I know this has been around for a while and it was quite restrictive. I don't know if there's still some restrictions in place, so handle with care and try it out before you promise to people. I've had issues with date formatting as a big one,
Mm.
and some not very nice ways of handling errors if someone doesn't choose a session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if they try and submit the form without a session selected, it just goes, there was an error submitting the form. So
Oh, so they
you
have
be
to pick
careful.
something. Okay.
And there's nothing to handle if they don't. So you've got to add a bit of extra bells and whistles. I know it's stuff that they're working on, but just be careful before you start rolling it out. But
Okay.
at least it's
Because
in
this is where
GA,
it's a
so
tick
now,
box next to
yes,
each session. So if you want to, if on your event you've said that session registration's allowed, then you can
yep,
basically have that and then it will give a tick
yes.
box for each one. Yes. I
But if
think
they
I
don't
wrote a
tick
blog about it,
anything,
Amy.
oh, you probably did.
I
Come
think
on.
I did. And I've just completely forgotten about that one. But I did not know about the error if you don't pick a session.
Yes.
So that is good.
But yeah, that's now in GA, so you can officially complain about it. It's fine.
Yeah. So the next one, I read it the other day, and you know, sometimes your brain just like computes something, and you're like, so this easily deliver a common experience to multiple audiences with single journey. So I'd forgotten that this is all this really is the ability to select multiple segments when you are starting a
Yes.
journey. In my mind, you know what I read?
What?
Leads and contacts, multiple audiences.
Oh no.
And
That
I
would
got,
be good.
wouldn't it? But I was like, how have I missed this? And then I reread, or actually read through it rather than just the BS marketing spiel one-liner. And then I was like, oh bollocks! All this is just you can pick more than one segment.
There was a lot of hype about that when it came in preview as well, so
It was
I think
exciting for
it's
that,
good,
but would have been
but
even better if it was leads and contacts potentially could go through a
yeah.
journey at the same time. Which would
Yeah.
be we definitely that needs sidebar that to me is one of the biggest things that's missing because if you consider, and I'm sure you get this as well, newsletter, blog,
Hmm.
you know, new blogs, whatever, invitation for events
Yeah.
is if you've got something as simple as I want to send my newsletter out. Oh, so you want to send it out to everybody that's subscribed. Oh, so you're going to have to do one
Oh.
for contacts and then one for leads, but you're going to have to exclude on one of them because otherwise someone's going
Yeah.
to get it twice.
And
Right?
also, if you want to say hi first name, you've got to have 2 different emails.
So that whole thing, sidebar, please add Microsoft. Anyway.
No, but then that's a use case for customer insights data, right? And it's a job. That's its purpose.
Oh, okay, whatever. I don't like it. I don't touch it. I don't touch that. All right, so next one.
Okay. I think we spoke about this last time, so I feel like it's coming around again. This is about understanding inflows and exits from journeys. I think it's more about showing the analytics and more reasons about why they exited. This feels like Groundhog Day, and I think we've done this before.
But it's public preview, so I think we've talked about it before. Yeah, but I think it's only just coming in.
Maybe it got pushed out.
Yeah.
Did it get delayed,
perhaps,
maybe? And it got pushed in December. So go and watch last month as well. But it's nice. It's more anyway, better analytics on journeys to see what's going on. Cool.
Yep. Okay. So this one.
It's in preview.
So it is preview. So this is one of those things where I feel every so often there is a long-awaited feature that we get like excited about, and then we get irritated because it just gets pushed and pushed and pushed. We have expectations, and I think the expectations are fair because we've seen what it did in outbound, right? So this is marketing based on web interactions. So somebody's visited your website, somebody's clicked on a link, whatever. So this came out, and I'd been saying to clients, oh, don't worry, the web interactions is coming, and then you'll be able to add it to your lead scoring. Again, assumption, because that's what you could do in outbound stuff. Yeah, no. So all this is literally at the moment is you get a script, you get one script that is not tied to a website. So if you've got multiple websites, it's the same script that you're using in all websites. And the only thing you can use it with at the moment is 2 different triggers.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 posts written up that are scheduled. One will explain all of the values in the website visited trigger, and one in the clicked trigger, because when you look at it, it's like not clear what those different values mean.
Got it.
So there's some useful things, but yeah.
It's only about 10% of what we want from it.
Yeah, nothing with lead scoring. You can't put it into a segment. You can't go anywhere and see all of your visits. You can't
doesn't show on the insights tab, does it?
No, on the insights. There's nothing on the timeline.
Yeah.
Makes me sad.
It's a start.
Oh, you're very kind. It is, but anyway.
I know. Looking for brownie points, just hunting for good karma where I can get it right now.
Yeah. All right. So the next one. Should we maybe come back?
Yes.
To this.
We'll come back to this one.
Yeah, this is.
We'll have a little deep dive on the cool new form stuff.
Do you want to talk about this one though? Because I know you've had a bit of experience with it, and I've not even touched it.
I've had a little bit of trauma with it as well. So short summary: for a long time, there was a big piece of documentation out there that was in the developer guide about here's how you build a plugin to do Recapture, and you had to go away and build your own plugin. Then you had to work out how to get it on the form. Then you had to work out how to get it working. The documentation was vague at best. So it pushes a lot of people away because straight up it's build your own custom plugin. So what they've done now is they've built the pre-built plugin for you. And there's a little section where you put in your secret key and public key for your Recapture. It's not officially labeled with Google or anything like that because they can't, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
But it is just the plugin part, so you still do need to do a lot of form configuration, and it is very painful. So you've got to edit the HTML in various places to get it to show, to get it to stop the submission, to show a message when it's not validated. When you layer it onto the website, there's always a race of JavaScripts and getting it to load in the right timing. Be careful if anyone uses an ad blocker because Recapture doesn't load. So it's cool. It's a good start. It breaks the back of the plugin build, but you do still have to do a lot of work. It's still a lot of form HTML editing from my experience.
Post planned on this?
I'm trying to cook it up, but it really depends on your website. It's very much depends on the person's website and what else they've got cooking. because I've done it for 3 or 4 different customers now, and every time it's different.
It's been different. Yeah. And that's the problem when you put, and I'm sure you found this as well, when you put something out there in a blog and you're like, hey, here's some JavaScript that works, invariably, if it doesn't work, it's not going to work for every single person. So then you get people saying, oh, this didn't work. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't troubleshoot everybody's website and their JavaScript and how you need to tweak it.
Too many factors outside of my control. So if people want to reach out to me and need some help, I can help, but I've not nailed it down enough to be like, here's an awesome blog post that's going to save your life. So it helps. It's a start. But if I have forms where I've got Recapture on, I'm basically saying to users, do not touch these. Because if you touch them, everything could break.
Yeah. That's the other problem, isn't it? Is somebody could work on those and set up Recapture for you, but if you need to go ahead and add new fields or change
it breaks stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, not the most positive pants.
And I didn't touch on it. I just said, hey, this is also here, like on the blog I did about the new form stuff. I said, here's the documentation. Off you go. So this one is a change to the layout of forms. So anybody that has worked with forms and dug into the HTML or put the code to embed the form onto their page, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get borders and shit around the form.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it basically because the forms were built using a table structure, which is not the best, should really be a div structure rather than tables. And what happens is in your own website, most people have some kind of style applied to tables. And a lot of people, if they've got tables in their website, put borders around them to make them pretty and stand out and so on. So it would always make it look pretty bad. So currently it's a feature switch where you have to turn it. My guess is at some point it probably will become the norm.
Standard.
But yeah.
Health warning with that, if you do turn it on, it's probably going to break things. It does break things. I tried. Do it in UAT environment, please.
It didn't break it on mine. But I wonder if it's because I'd already factored in some styles into my form. So in other words, I've got a form that's on my website that is the contact form, and I'm using the dynamics because I use it to kind of like demo how you could do stuff. And I've turned it on, so I'm using tableless forms, and it hasn't impacted my form. But I feel it's because my style sheet at the top probably has enough in it to control what it is looking like, if that makes sense.
I remembered what it broke. It broke the Google Recapture.
Well, there you go then. Okay.
Because it was a custom div tag, and whatever they built to reformat it as tableless freaked out at the random div tag it didn't recognize and broke the whole friggin' thing. I did it in UAT though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
If you've got normal forms, you turn it on, it's usually fine. Yeah. It's if you've done anything beyond putting fields on form.
Yeah. So just still with anything when it's a feature switch,
like all good things,
do use it with caution.
So stopping live segments. Yeah. Stopping them. I don't feel too bothered by this one. Because I still want to. I got excited and I was like, oh, but it's only if they've not got any dependencies. So you still can't edit live segments. So this doesn't blow my mind. It's nice. Yeah.
All right, so we scroll back up to this one that, again, it's one of those like sentences that are like, it doesn't really actually tell you what it is. So it says generate leads that link to an existing contact. It is basically a change to the forms, and there's a whole host of things in the form settings area. So to say generate leads that link to an existing contact, okay, yeah, sure, but that doesn't really tell people using the app like, hey, now forms you can do stuff.
Even I could have come up with a better marketing spiel for that one than that.
Bit naff. So
like super flexible form matching strategies. OMG, like come on.
Yeah, exactly. I should have used ChatGPT for it. All right. So I'll do a quick overview of what the changes are, and also some like be careful. Do this at your own risk. So what you'll find is there was a feature switch for a nanosecond, and that feature switch is no longer there. So if we are in the settings area of the app, we go to form settings, there will be 2 records already there. Now, in the documentation, it says, do not delete these, but then it says, but if you do, just add one back, which made me chuckle. I'm like, okay, don't delete it, because yeah, it'll be a pain if you have to go through the process. So just don't delete it. So I'm going to focus on the marketing form details one. There's one for events as well. And basically, this is where we're setting up the defaults. Now, as anything with a default, it just means then when someone creates a new form, it will use the defaults, but you can override them. You also, at the start, these 2, at least I found it in a couple of my clients' environments, there's a default field that
Nice.
is no by, ironically, it's no by
default.
default. As soon as you change it to yes, then it locks that field.
Got it.
My expectation would be if I then did add another one and change that to yes, it might flip it, but I don't know. But you shouldn't
that's how
need
they
more than
usually
one.
work.
It should
You
work
remember
that way.
was it the content settings or something work the same? You add a new one, say it's default, it updates the other ones.
Updates the other one, yeah. So this should be very familiar to anyone that's worked with forms, because basically if you are on the form settings area on your marketing form, you get these things. You get what's the message, the post submission action. Do you want a thank you message, or do you want to do a redirect? And also, if it is a thank you message, what do you want the message to be? And if it's an error, what do you want that to be? You also, if you have turned on the pre-fill fields function, will have that. So you can say, right, by default, let's have pre-fill turned on for the form. The audience, we've got, again, this is a default, but we have 3 options. So lead and contact is basically saying when the form gets submitted, it's using the email address. And not only is it going off and looking for a lead, but it's also looking for a contact. And if it finds both, you can kind of decide what to do. But that contact, if it finds both, the contact would be linked on the lead as the parent contact for lead field. So people might call that field something different, but the database, it is the parent contact for lead. And that's the field that gets populated when someone qualifies the lead. So it would mean it would already be in there. Doesn't matter when they qualify, it's not going to create a new contact. So if I go into...
kind of... No. So it doesn't create the contact if it doesn't exist. It only matches.
Well, Amy, wait till you see
that's an
this.
Option. Because I feel like we're just going back to how Outbound used to work right now.
No. This is way better. So you now have rules for the lead. So again, this is stuff that already exists. So we've got, do I want to match an existing lead, or do I always want to create a new lead? Yeah. Brilliant, we've got that already. But now you can basically say, do you want to match to an existing contact or always create a new one? But this is the golden nugget.
Don't update the bloody thing.
Do you want to update the matched contact with the submitted data? Yes or no? But if there's no contact, do you want to create a new one?
Yeah, nice.
Which falls in line with a typical sales process. Is I would say no, I don't want a new contact because I want to qualify the lead to create the contact at that point.
Yeah. And if I don't qualify it, I don't ever want to see that contact in my system. Yep. It's really nice. Like, they've thought about a lot of scenarios here. Like, the majority of people, this will be more than enough, which is really nice. It's like outbound marketing, but better because you don't have to have the contact.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Good work.
Yes. And then the other thing is, and I've put this in the blog.
Yeah.
So this is the part that worries me, is this area where someone's going to get to and is going to be generate mappings, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to click generate mappings, and they're going to just say, yeah, continue, and they're going to read, not even read stuff or not know what it means.
I know.
So for anyone...
I saw this.
Yeah. I saw it before when it was being built, and I said, well, don't do this. So
like,
anyone
I look like that emoji face, the shocked one. Like,
I know.
Like, that's...
It's, yeah.
Like, I'm dying.
So for anyone that doesn't know, there is standard functionality that's been around since probably the dawn of time, where you can say, if I'm creating one record from another, so basically I'm qualifying a lead, it creates a contact, it creates an account, it creates an opportunity. There's mapping from that original record into the others. This is showing what's currently mapped already. But if someone does generate mappings, that's akin to someone just saying, let Microsoft's logic decide what maps into what. The only saving grace is that I could only actually do something if I'm a system administrator, but I can still press the button and think I'm doing something.
Yeah, and then it's creating an unmanaged layer, and we're doing customizations in production. Like, I'm not okay with any of this being enabled by a button.
I'm not okay with this. I am not okay with this. So finally, on the form itself, you can see now that I've got an audience of contact and lead. These are my original ones, and now it's lead and contact. Here's the problem. So we go into this one because it's in draft. What will happen is now this used to be locked.
Yes.
Now I can click on it.
Okay, yeah.
And Amey, I could say, oh, I want to use this new stuff, lead and contact. I cannot read this.
Nice form. Good form. Nice.
And everything.
Ooh,
so
yeah, okay.
Be very cautious. So I don't know about you, but I have to start strategizing for clients that have forms already that will want to start using this and figure out the best and easiest way to do it. I think I've cracked it to where in the HTML there'll be a little thing that has data audience type or something like that, lead, amp and blah 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 contact. So I think if we could just put that into the HTML, it should be okay, but I'm going to test it later on. So
I think that's one of those. It's do it in UAT, be careful. I had the same like with turning on the tableless forms thing. It's like that's it's fine if it's all new, plain sailing, but otherwise,
And now when I want to add stuff and I do first name, I would pick it from the lead and contact section rather than picking it from the contact or the lead section.
Yes.
Because otherwise it will basically say, right, I'm mapping this to the lead and the contact, but I'm only going to match that back into the contact, which is good because you can do some updates on the lead.
Yeah.
So
no, that's interesting. I bet the HTML looks pretty cool. That's good. Sorry, that's really lame. That just came out of my mouth, but I reckon the HTML looks pretty cool.
I am with you, but this is where I'm saying, like, in terms of the what happens is it
Can you format it, please?
Where is it? Yes, I can. Sorry.
Thank you. Oh yeah, the data target audience is the only thing that changes.
Where is it?
I just saw it.
I did as well. Oh, there. So see how that's contact?
Yes, sir.
And that one is lead and contact. So my assumption is I should be able to copy the HTML and then go in and put data target audience equals lead and contact, but I need to test the submission and make sure it all works. So
sounds pretty logical to me.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw the coolest blog from you that I thought,
thanks.
Nice one. Sometimes people write blogs and I think, oh, why didn't I come up with that? So, can you tell us why
do you want to talk about
post? Yeah, my eyes just started crying, so apologies. I'm not actually crying. I just
getting emotional. It's a pretty big deal. I get it.
Blog.
Brings tears to my eyes. So I don't know. I'm guessing anyone that's getting our kind of role that knows some marketing stuff, helps customers with marketing, but also is a behind the scenes, can build stuff and make cool stuff happen behind the scenes. As you may or may not know, every time a journey is created, it spawns off like at least 6 different journeys. I've not worked out the maths or the logic of how many or why or when or where, but every time it's a new version, there's 6 more. Sometimes it's more than 6.
You said 6 journeys, but you mean 6 flows, right?
6 flows. Thank you very much. One journey, 6 flows. Yes. No, well done. That's a very good point. Good. Well done for listening. So it spits off these flows in the background that make the marketing automation happen. Obviously, they split it off into multiple for load balancing, whatever else they're doing. Great. I do always want to dig into that and work out how that all works, though, for trigger-based journeys. I'm always a bit curious, but never had enough spare time. But I did find the spare time to go and destroy some flows. It's something I've always done for customers. If I'm knocking around in their building stuff, I'll just delete some old flows in the background while I'm
Wow,
doing
that's really
things.
good of you. I've never done
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I don't like it. It really bothers me. So if I'm like working on something, I'll just like in the background go and tick all the disabled CXP flows and tidy it up. And then the next day there's 700 more. And then tried a few ways. And if you use the Power Automate for admin connector, you can only get the first 250. You can change it so it gives you all of them, but you can't filter. So then I got really smart and started playing with APIs because I'm a hypocrite that doesn't code. And I found a way to basically, it's a 3-step flow. You press a button or schedule a trigger. You have a nice little API call to grab all the flows that are turned off and start with CXP underscore and delete them. So there, I did just basically, it's CXP underscore and it's turned off and it's a flow.
So do you know in your testing, is it, do they get turned off when the journey stops?
Yes. So if the journey is stopped or completed, that's when they get turned off. And as soon as the journey is ended, the flow has no purpose. It sends all the analytics into the database. So you're not losing any analytics. The journey still shows you the flows. The flow is just like the mechanism for doing the things. So you're not losing anything by deleting them, but someone did rightly say like maybe you want to delete stuff like that was turned off 3 months ago, maybe. You probably could. You maybe should. So there is some tweaks you can add, but basically it plows through and deletes all the CXP flows that have been disabled. And it's really cool. The fun thing is that I learned is that the word fratricide is the act of killing a brother.
What?
And that's what the flow is. Because I was like, a flow deleting a flow is like he's killing his brother. So then I went on a really strange Google spree about what the term is. So if you want to know more about that, that's also in my blog.
Wow.
But yeah, just cleans things up.
Fratricide.
Fratricide.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, fratricide, I think. There's a term for every single one.
Yeah, so I'm sure you have as well. I've got some clients that are quite a bit smaller and are sending maybe one newsletter a month. So their flows, I mean, you still could gradually build up to the hundreds, but I've got some that are doing literally thousands. So you can imagine, and that is obviously it's a mess. And then for anybody else going through and looking at flows,
yes,
that's a mess as well.
And if you were to go in and like investigate a problem with a flow and you're trying to find the one that you're in production or in UAT, you're like, what is all this stuff? Like, I just want to get to the things that I need.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, it's and again, storage. People are grabbing copies of production to UAT, trying to clean out some mess so they can keep their storage under handle as well. So that was my playground to do it as well. It's really nice. Like, oh, what can I break?
Yeah.
So yeah,
handle with care. Very, very cool. All right, so I guess we'll have a January release at some point because technically that's still part of Wave 2 2024. Wave 2 2024.
Yes.
We still have January for that?
Yeah, I think they said they weren't going to do a December one, but I guess they did anyway.
They did, yeah.
Because we just looked at the notes.
Maybe they're not going to do a January one.
I'm guessing. Anyway. I don't know. Let's see. Who knows?
When they have another one, we'll do it. But we'll definitely be back with a Wave 1 2025 chat, and we'll go through all of the stuff. Something
that we've been waiting for years.
We've maybe talked about 3 or 4 times previously. We'll just keep going, Amy. We'll just keep on talking about them, and maybe they'll come to fruition. But yes, I have enjoyed our chat as usual.
Likewise.
Have a wonderful life.
See ya. Have a good life.
Next few weeks, we will chat again soon.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.